Let me know if you're live on your end, guys. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Are we live? Or we're not live?
Yes, we are.
Yep.
We are. Okay.
Yeah, we're live. Absolutely. Yes.
Well, welcome. Bottoms up, guys. Anyway, guys, it's been a rough week, but you know what? We're getting through it. And the movie is coming out fantastic. It's unbelievable. It truly is. The fifth cut was amazing. Laura Eisenhower was able to be there for the actual private screening. I'm going to share, we're going to get her thoughts on it here shortly. And we're making the final adjustments to achieve as close to perfection as we can get. And so, with that said, my good friend in Texas, not Tyler, I'm sorry, Colleyville, Texas. The name of his center is, I'll get that in a second, Terra Quantum Recharge. Terra Quantum Recharge.biz. Terra Quantum Recharge.biz. On the 6th of September, he's showing the movie there, and he's going to be showing it also on the 7th. I'm going to be flying in on the 6th. I'll be there in the flesh. It's a huge place. It's potentially the biggest healing center that has the same technology we have in Cape Canaveral in Texas, and it's going to be amazing. All right. So with that said, Laura, I know that you were able to watch a lot of the movie, or most of it, or maybe all of it. I don't know, but I know that when I clicked off, we got off the movie, you weren't there anymore because you're always busy. But what did you think of the movie overall?
Oh, wow. I mean, you've done an incredible job. It just, the way it all begins, the way you just, the visuals, every word spoken. I mean, President Trump is not going to ignore this. I mean, what an incredible project. What a masterpiece, really. You hit it out of the park, Mel. And to hear everybody's testimony, oh man, it's just so many voices, to bring in so many voices. I'm so honored to be included in all of this, because yes, I've been heavily hit by censorship and being related to President Eisenhower and hearing Trump quote him a lot, and just feeling a similarity with their administrations, and being able to do this roundtable with you guys. It's one of the most important documentaries of our time.
Well said. I think I have to agree with you, even though I might be a little bit biased because I'm the producer, director, choreographer. The whole. I'm wearing like 19 hats. I got Carol Maureen there in Costa Rica wearing 19 hats. I got everybody going crazy, and thank God for the volunteers, because this movie, without the volunteers and without the talent that we brought to the table, and without a lot of the hungry, smaller to mid-sized podcasters that understand even more so than the big podcasters, what really is at stake, who stepped up to the plate, like Mark Atwood and my good friend there, Stu. There's a part in the movie where I said to him, "Capiche?" Brooklyn style, and he says, "Capiche," with that British accent. It's so funny, right? But we captured that, so we got that piece now in there, which wasn't in there the last time you were here for the private screening. So great stuff, guys. If you want to go to dearmrpresident.net, it's really important now at this point that you opt in, just so you get notified the minute the movie gets released. Dearmrpresident.net. If you can make a donation, it's free. If you can make a donation, do that as well. We could use a little bit of help financially because we got a lot of money on this one out there. And I'm not foolish. I don't think we're going to recoup all of our money, but maybe, who knows? George, you never gave us a piece.
I know. I'm sorry, because I've been away mission. What do they call? Out of service. I've been over in Europe doing healing wellness retreats, and I'm a little out of the loop. But it's so nice to be back here with you guys today. And congratulations on what you've produced. It's outstanding, and it's definitely it's part of a testimony, and it will be seen as part of the Great Awakening. Your contribution, all of you Anons, is what's helping civilization wake up. And it's actually quite nice that it's coming out at this Venus opposition with Pluto. Venus plays an important part in the United States birth chart. I go on and on about this. Laura and I talk a lot about this, the Jupiter-Venus conjunction, and with Venus making an opposition to Pluto, it's all about transformation. And as we know, Mr. Trump's chart, his chart is connected to the birth chart of the United States through their Venuses. And so I think it's a very good time for relationships and for strong relationship dynamics getting out and getting to the heart of the matter and understanding real truth, so well done.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that. Carol, I want your thoughts.
Well, if you're getting into on the spiritual side of things, it's the 999, which is a 27, and you're starting at 9 in the morning, so it's another 9. So it's like an infinity of the nines, and 9 being in psychosomatic numerology is the brow chakra, and it's wisdom through integrity, and integrity being very authentic in who we are, and that goes to infinity, right? So it's a beautiful thing. And also, I think it's isn't it lunar total lunar eclipse right around that time too.
Yeah.
And when we talked about it, I says, "Oh, Mel, it's got to be on 999, right?" And then he says, "I can't have it on that day." And I says, "Why not?" And he says, "Well, because it's my birthday." I says, "Well, if President Trump can have a $25 million military parade on his birthday, why can't you launch the movie?" So, it's plus he's 63, so that's another 9. So it was just 99999 to infinity. So it's beautiful.
I also, can I say, I love that with the 9, because it reminds me of shifting the 6 to 9, so from carbon to crystalline. Mm-hmm. And in a way, Laura talks all about, to reconnect, reconstitute the matrix to stop the inversion. So the 6 becomes the 9, and that's our crystalline technology coming through.
Yeah, and I'm not sure in the Mayan calendar it is it's a red cosmic moon day. So, yeah, and that's the healer, and we're healing history and mass consciousness. So it's it says, "I endure in order to purify, transcending flow. I seal the process of universal water with the cosmic tone of presence. I'm guided by the power of space." Space meaning we're expanding our consciousness. That is the ascension, is expanding our consciousness. So,
yes,
yeah.
Well,
and we're all teachers of that, right?
Yeah, let's start with a very funny video, just so that we can. I don't know if the audience is still not here. Was slowly trickling in. And then again, the numbers are never accurate anyway. So, but let's do it anyway. Maybe we'll show it twice. Who knows? Can you guys see my screen? And give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Do you know why people don't think it's easy to make $1 million? Because they go to school. And school is the worst thing you can send your children to. I said that. The whole school is cool, keep kids in school, that is propaganda, and here's why. Do you know who founded and funded the General Board of Education? John D. Rockefeller. Do you know what he said? He wants everybody to be employees. Yep. He said, "I am not in the business of making a nation of thinkers. I'm in the business of making a nation of workers." Everything you learn in school, every single solitary thing about how to think, you learn because school has taught you to think that way. They taught you to think like an employee. They taught you to think like a poor person, because if everyone was rich, the economy would fall apart. Therefore, we can't have too many rich people. So what do? We put kids into indoctrination camps to show them how to be an employee. And then they go out in the world and they think like an employee, so they stay an employee. They don't become entrepreneurs. They don't become rich. Why do you think they ask you, raise your hand to go to the bathroom? What kind of sick shit is that? I gotta piss. I gotta raise my fucking hand to go to the bathroom? Like, really think about that. That's fucked up.
It is. It really is. I mean, you think about it. How screwed up is that? You have to ask permission. But that was not the video. If I switch screens, let me know if you guys can see the next screen. I don't know. This was actually the video I wanted to show. Let me know if you can see that. No, you can't see that screen? I have to reshare it then. I have to stop this one, which is weird. Stop screen and start another one. I don't understand why it doesn't synchronize.
Amber.
Oh,
while you're trying to do that, can I just say something about the video we just saw?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I really love it, because I just wrote a post actually yesterday about something about schools. I said, I have to say, it's funny to self-reflect on raising kids in this world when you were the kid that refused to go to doctors, skipped class, had the worst attendance, snuck out constantly. You raise them and they're looking up to you like you can help them navigate all of this because you're the adult, until they have that breakthrough that they don't want to be there either, and they realize who their mom is, who totally gets it. She didn't go to school and she didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the video I showed that I think is extraordinarily funny. You guys can see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good. Let's hit make sure we got volume. And
these aliens right here, they seem to understand the absurdity of debt more than most humans. Listen to this Instagram clip.
Want to know what I found out the other day?
What did you find out the other day?
Did you know the entire Earth is $315 trillion in debt?
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Who do they owe money to?
Bro, who are they getting money from?
It blows my mind that first off, you have everything on the planet here to live for free.
You literally have everything you need.
And then you invent a system
Uh-huh.
that creates a deterioration of your own resources
You created a store of value that's literally storing less and less value
every day.
Every day.
And you're increasing your technology, and yet somehow you still owe money to someone, and it's $315 trillion. There's not enough paper to print that much cash. What are they doing?
Earth is like the worst meme coin. It's the worst.
It got run.
Man, we are absurd. We use money we don't have to buy things we don't need to impress people we will never even meet. And for some reason, we call that success.
that has got to be the most hysterical video I found all week. I wanted to show that so bad. Did you guys enjoy that?
Yes, brilliant. And it hits the serious message home very strongly that actually we have to have compassion, because those great masters of Jekyll Island, that sinking of the Titanic, they really did a number on us as a civilization. And, you know, for many of us, we were born into it. You know, 1913, none of us were alive, right?
Yeah.
And so it's been a very insidious, long, you know, the protocols of the Elders of Zion. It's been a long thing coming, and this is the great awakening, and it's painful, but we need a lot of compassion, because there's no one really necessary to blame. It's the system that was put down, and obviously we've had the enforcers. The IRS is the enforcer of the Federal Reserve, and it's all coming out.
Yeah. Was that a funny video, Laura?
Yeah. Yeah. And just what George just said, I mean, I just see that as uncomfortable as it is, it's not outside of us. It's not like you have to learn something. It's something that's moving through. I see it like a rose growing through a crack in the cement, you know, this heavy density. And the more that like pop through, the more that cement crumbles. And that to me is like the deep state. And the true garden grows. And that's really our divine soul. That's our sovereignty. You know, all these things that we're dismantling, yes, it's uncomfortable, but they were never really ours. They were conditioned into us, indoctrinated, ancestral patterns that we carry. So, yeah, it's really a return that it becomes more and more familiar and more welcoming. The more you realize that when you strip an identity, you're not lost. You're getting closer to yourself and the truth. And then you see, you can navigate better and see through the distortions and deceptions. Go ahead. Yeah, just want to say that.
I was going to say, it's funny that he had the same face shape, the two of them, the alien and the guy, you know, they looked like each other.
I thought that was one of the funniest skit, and they delivered it flawlessly. I thought the humor was right on point, because humor's timing. You know what I mean? You could have the best script in the world, but if you don't deliver it exactly at the right second when it needs to be delivered, it uses it loses all of its humor, ability. Right? I thought it was well done. I thought that was cute. Let's go to our next clip. I love doing clips for some reason. A lot of people don't have time to watch all this stuff, and neither do I. But I do find the time at night, like 2:00 in the morning. You guys are in the group, so you get the little things popping up at 2, 3 in the morning. Mel's working at 2, 3 in the morning. Can you imagine? Here we go.
That coin may be worth more than FIFA in the end. It could be quite a coin, actually. Huh? It could be quite a coin, actually. Huh?
The golden age of America has officially begun. We're also going to Fort Knox. We have things that nobody else has.
We are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stable coins to do that.
It's like everything's hidden in plain sight, you know? It's like they almost want you to find this shit.
Well, today Trump was talking to the Korean. No, I don't know who it was. Was it today? About the trophy or statue that he got from the soccer or whatever. I'm not into sports. Yeah, where World Cup coming to the United States. But today is pointed out. But he says it's pure gold, and I bet nobody can even lift this thing. And he says, but I like my pure angel, because there's an angel in pure gold, and he's pointing that out. I like the angel better even than this whatever it was, like an Oscar or something award. And so yeah, he's really pointing to a lot of gold.
It's also interesting symbolically and astrologically that Donald J. Trump's ascendant is 29 degrees Leo, and that is the heart of the lion. It's one of the 4 royal stars. In ancient Babylonia, ancient Persia, we astrologers took the 4 royal stars very seriously. Mm-hmm. And he's born with Mars on that royal star. That I've had the privilege of going to Mar-a-Lago. He loves gold.
Mm-hmm.
Does he ever? I mean, what do you make of the fact that, you know, the government reserve currency, cryptocurrency, is a Solana, Cardano, and then, oh, by the way, we forgot, you know, we got to include Bitcoin. I think he's sending a message that he wants everybody to really forget about those, because the government used fiat money that they print out of thin air. They're not even paper. They're not using any energy. It's just a computer number and a number in a computer. They bought the XRP with fiat currency, which is worth nothing, backed up by nothing, and it doesn't cost them nothing to buy. So if it goes to zero for the government, they don't give a shit, right? Because they bought it with nothing. They bought it with fake money. Mm. So my point is the fact that they bought those 3 first, and then hours later they purchased and they put Ethereum and Bitcoin. I think that
tells you it all. It tells you it all.
Yeah, I mean, does it say to the general public, hey, the government owns XRP? I think you should too. I think it screams that loud and clear. For people who are still sitting on the sidelines, who are not yet schooled in the subject, who don't want to dive in and learn what this is, it's mind-boggling to me. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, when I watch these wonderful digital anons, and there's another guy I follow, he's now got 8 million viewers. He's called Juan Bergman. And it's all about these faces and the shock. It's like all these anons, they're, you know, stroking the beard. It's this awakening to consciousness. And I think, you know, really what the planet's going through is we were so stuck in lack of brilliance. To be brilliant is to shine with the light. And yes, and it reminds me also of these other terms like radiance. You know, we're remembering why our soul came here, and through this remembrance, you know, we become more attractive because we're able to share our individual gifts, as you're doing, Mel, and all of us are doing, with the world. And the more aligned we are with the soul contract, the more you glow, the gold. And so in some ways, there's a symbolic lesson here, not just the literal. And I think it's this journey towards consciousness that this is playing out so magnificently. And some people are further ahead than others, and that's fine. It's always been that way. But it's not a competition either. It's like everyone's going to awaken in their own way. And the ones who tend not to are the ones who are passing over. because they can't hold the frequency. They're going to do the different vector, meaning 6 jabs later, bad water, bulk water later, not structured, inorganic, synthetic food as opposed to organic, the whole 9 yards. And so you suddenly see that's the schism, that's the division between the unconscious and the conscious. And that's what this great reset, which begets the great awakening, achieves.
Yeah.
Gosh, I just wanted to share. I mean, the whole system is rigged to keep this awakening process from happening. Everything, every pillar of society is infiltrated to a certain degree to create suppression, inability to listen to the inner voice, the higher self, and to embody truth and sovereignty. It's remarkable, you know, because our emotions, our anger, everything about us, our physical disease, if we have it, any kind of adversity is all an opportunity to get to know ourselves better and understand what is trying to push through, what is trying to have a voice, to be, you know, seen and understood. And it's just labeled and diagnosed and cast into these trajectories that is a form of, you know, mind control in a lot of ways. And it's what we were talking about, going back to that first video, school. A lot of well-intentioned people who are incredibly intelligent that are taught this. You know, a lot of individuals crack through it, though, that really do help. I mean, doctors can help in emergency situations. They do unbelievable things. It's not about throwing the baby out with the bathwater, but it's about allowing what doesn't feel right to have a voice and to not silence that. Yeah, I just wanted to add that literally the system is rigged to prevent this or to make it incredibly difficult without being ostracized, being misunderstood, being, you know, cast out. But that's changing, and that has changed. So this administration and a documentary like yours, to make sure that the voices are heard is a huge step in that direction to make sure that doesn't happen.
So what we're doing, so that you know, and I want to get the word out there, and all you, the audience out there, we need your help as well to move the video out far and wide when it does come out, the actual documentary. But we're also, what we're doing is we're actually casting live on multiple channels. All of the podcasters, for example, that are featured in the movie are going to be broadcasting live from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock in the morning the very next day, 24 hours. The movie's going to just replay over and over and over again off of our feed, and we're going to get it out there because we've hit every brick wall you could possibly imagine, especially with the press release. The press release companies are in with Google and Yahoo and all these companies that they want this agenda for the United States. They're like you said, Laura, there's so many forces against this reset from happening. It is ridiculous on levels that we can't even begin to explain, but yet they're there. And people are always saying, well, Mel, why is it taking so long? Like I got something to do with it. I mean, if I had something to do with it, I had that kind of power, it would have been done, you know, in 2013, like this guy here, Dreamwalker 44. Congratulations. 2013. You guys know that XRP was less than fucking pennies in 2013? Do you understand? It was like 0.002 of a penny back then. Ridiculous. I mean, look, I'm sure he probably kicking himself in the ass for not buying a bigger bag because he probably didn't understand the full picture of what XRP was going to be. Neither did I. Oh, yeah. We bought $50 worth. We bought 12,500 tokens for $50 back then. And we thought we were like, whoa, 12,000. That's a lot of, no, you can't not have enough because listen, the wealth is going to be used very differently this time around. It's not about buying airplanes and showing off with big yachts and big helicopters. It's going to be used for humanitarian reasons. And it's also going to be stored where the money's actually churning and creating wealth every single month. Some of you guys out there who have a lot of XRP will be making 20, 30 million, $40 million a month. It's like owning a cash machine that spits out 20, 30, $40 million a month. When you got that kind of money and we crush the New World Order, and we will crush the New World Order, that's the kind of money that if we need to go to war with a New World Order that's trying to rise its head up again, and you got 1 million new multi-billionaires, okay, that's what the money's going to be used for. Humanitarian, and make sure that this never happens on planet Earth ever again.
The other thing is, you know, it's interesting being I'm, you know, obviously born European, and I sound like a European, but my philosophy is 100% American, meaning the freedom for we the people. And that's such an important thing, because never again, because the people are awake, back to consciousness, will the people allow for something so insidious to run, where in the past, it just happened. And we don't need a history lesson today, but it's like it can never happen again when we're conscious. And the Americans are becoming incredibly conscious, in spite of the shit food, in spite of the crap water. And that's why I look at America and go, wow, those are strong fucking genes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're all, expanding our light, really. I mean, that's what, and to me, the gold is, we've got red and we've got blue and yellow. Those are the three primary colors when you see how light splits into the world. And all colors come off of those three colors. And we've got the blue side and the red side, but it's about keeping the balance in between, because we've got will. Red is active intelligence, with the gold ray is the gold ray of love, wisdom. That's the Christ consciousness ray. That's our own inner Christ consciousness, and not looking for it outside ourselves, because we are the creators. And when we bring all our lights together for the divine mind, and it's just mass consciousness, and they're trying to keep taking us off that. They're taking us in their direction of that narrative, but a lot of us that are awake are going in a direction to find the balance within ourselves. And then we can connect to, George, we can go back to Venus, because that's all about love, right? And that moon is blocking us, that morning star. So we should have true darkness and true light, right?
Laura, that sounds very appealing, doesn't it, darling? Us returning to Venus, where we belong.
Well, Venus has been doing the corrections, the Sophionic corrections. The Venus transits have formed a perfect pentagram in the sky to offset the inversions of the pentagram going downward, where the ether was paired in reversals, which is the ether element, which it's connected to the mitochondrial DNA. It's the great purifier. It's the great substance of alchemy. And so the Venus transits, which the Mayans understood were the orbit of Venus, has formed a perfect pentagram and the sacred geometry of a rose. And as we get closer to that embodiment of, the Venus energy, it is about love. It's not about the divide and conquer. It's not about the information wars. It's not about I'm right, you're wrong. That begins to just fall away, because the priority is just coming together and healing and recovering from all that we've been through. And, that's everything. The information is important now to be able to really call out all these attempts to infect the creative channels with propaganda, indoctrination, mind control, social engineering, all that. Geoengineering is an example of how it also appears in nature. We're elemental beings, so is obviously nature. We are a reflection of. So when we begin to dissolve and break that down and override those distortion, dark weapon frequencies coming through 5G and bioweapons and all of that begins to dismantle. We de-weaponize the weapons by winning the war on consciousness from within. And we don't have to fear that it's still happening. We just simply need to override the hooks that pull us into these scripts that are being written for us that are not our true destiny, that are very crappy scripts that are based in creating engineered events and psyops that require our consent and participation for it to even function. So they're the powers that stole. We're the powers that be.
Yeah,
absolutely. Let's get to our
well,
next.
it is connecting definitely to copper, because copper is the metal of Venus. And women have 10% more copper in their blood than men do for the menstrual cycle, except now it's interrupted by the moon. And then Mars is iron. Men have 10% more iron in their blood, which is the metal of Mars.
I'm Cornish. I've got 10% more tin, so Jupiter must be my ruling planet.
There you go.
Well, guys, don't forget to support us. DearMrPresident.net. Go opt in. This way you're one of the first ones to know when the movie comes out. Okay. Staying alive. If you happen to be in Cape Canaveral, we're packed today for some reason, Maureen, and we got like a full house, literally. And my two staff members called me like, "Oh, we got a mad rush." But anyway, needless to say, Staying Alive, our healing center down in Cape Canaveral. Make sure you go visit that. Scalar wave technology allows the body to heal the body. If you're in town, or if you know somebody who's sick who lives in our area, in Brevard County, call them. Say, hey, you should go check out Mel and Amber. Also, if you need $10,000 or more, worth of XRP. Please do not call me to chit chat. I would love to chit chat with everybody. There'll be a time where we can fuck off again. Right now is not the time. Right now it's strictly business. So if I give out my number, do not send me a text message because you want to go get a puppy if that's the case. Okay. Bottom line is 786-704-8817. Send me a text. Say I got $10,000 liquid free and clear, and I'll introduce you to our brokers. We got brokers all over the world. Be more than happy to make the introduction. You'll get your XRP within 5 to 7 business days, and you need to get it now because it's still under $3 right now. It was like $2.98 when we logged in this morning here. So, but anyway, let's check out the next video. I think this will drive it home.
And now today, you have another historic legislative achievement that is a monumental step to fulfilling your promise to making the United States the crypto capital of the world. This Genius Act will unlock American dominance in the crypto industry by creating clear rules of the road. It will update archaic payment rails with a revolutionary new payment system, and it will extend U.S. dollar dominance, like you said, globally, by creating a digital dollar that people all over the world can use. And for every digital dollar in a crypto wallet, there'll be a traditional dollar in a U.S. bank account, which will create trillions of dollars of demand for U.S. Treasury. So that is the power of this bill, is U.S. dollar dominance.
The crypto czar of the United States, this guy right here, David Sachs, just confirmed that the digital dollar is coming, and it will be using cryptocurrencies like XRP. Because, for example, in this report right here from the Department of Homeland Security here in the United States, they officially say how peer-to-peer payment systems like Ripple will be used to access the US digital dollar instead of other protocols and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. David Sachs, the crypto czar of the United States, is telling you that the digital dollar is coming and will be powered by crypto technologies. Yes, Ripple has collaborated with the U.S. Federal Reserve, as you can tell right here, to update the U.S. domestic payment system. The Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, collaborated with Ripple to connect its domestic payment system together. This digital dollar that's coming will be digital. It will be powered by cryptocurrencies, but it will also have to be cross-border. The digital dollar will have to connect to the digital pound, the digital euro. They will all be connected with one another through cryptocurrencies. Like Ripple's technology will connect all of them together. XRP will be used. Other cryptocurrencies as well, like SLM, HBAR, QNT, they are all going to be used on the back end to power these digital currencies. Right now, if you hold any one of these cryptocurrencies, XRP, SLM, QNT, or HBAR, smash a like button. Let's get 2, 3, 5,000 likes. The digital dollar is literally coming and will revolutionize everything. This changes everything. If you hold cryptocurrency right now, this will affect you in a good way because the digital dollar is digital. Obviously, it will use crypto DLTs, distributed ledger technologies on the back end to power everything, to cross-border payments, to settle transactions, to actually build these digital currencies. They will use cryptocurrencies. David Sachs, the crypto czar of the United States, literally confirmed in front of President Trump and the entire world that the digital dollar is coming. And yes, it will be using crypto technologies like Ripple, XRP, Hedera, HBAR, XLM. I just bought over $1,000 worth of this cryptocurrency right here. RealFi. RealFi is the top real estate property.
So there you go. You have it. I mean, look, it's the writing is on the wall. It's not coming. It's here. The price is still low because you got like guys like Jerome. I don't know if you guys know who that guy is, but that guy's a piece of crap. He's the reason why XRP is being manipulated. He's the reason why the economy still sucks in America. He's the reason why the real estate market's going to crash. He's the reason why a lot of things. Because these people are not our friends. They're not.
Who's this? Who did you say?
Jerome Powell.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, of course. The Federal Reserve, but isn't the Federal Reserve really being exposed, though? Isn't that the whole point? You know, isn't Trump, in a way, just by bringing it to the attention of the public, allowing us, we the people, to really see how this organization isn't on the side of the people, right?
Sure.
Well, I would say if it's here, I mean, I would rather Trump and United States and we the people see which direction it's going to go, but we've got to back him in that, right? He says we're going to be the lead of it, and we have to believe in that. But we keep them accountable, and people are educating themselves on it and where things go wrong. And and then they're up in the arms about it. But it's here, so I think we have to trust ourselves that Trump is the right person to lead it for now.
There's nobody better, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly.
It's important. It's highly important that Eric Trump becomes the next president of the United States.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, that decision will be the most pivotal, the most important decision of the United States of America. Because there's no way Trump could fix all of this in 4 years. I'm going to tell you flat out. We'll fix a lot of things. We'll get rid of the IRS. We'll get rid of property taxes. Yes, we're going to win a lot of wars along the way, but we're not going to be there. Okay, there's a lot of forces against us. A lot of forces that unfortunately have a lot of money and a lot of power still. So let's get to the next.
Well, video. when you think of it, I mean, Trump keeps saying he will, maybe if it's not that capacity, he will be a world leader, because his name Donald means world leader. Yes. John means graced by God, and Trump means to sound the clarion trumpets while you beat to your own drum. Now, anyone can Google that. That's what it'll come up. That's what it says. So he's standing in his name right, too.
Yeah.
And so,
and also, I mean, just the obvious is the trump card, which people forget. You know, I mean, I've played cards all my life. As does Laura, work with tarot. I mean, it's amazing that the name is Trump in that sense, because it trumps the old system. And in that sense, it's almost the archetype of Uranus, which is the innovator, the destroyer of the old and the bringer in of the new.
And that's where his North Node Sun
conjunction with Uranus.
Yep.
And he also
to be that.
The Trump card also with Melania's dress was the Joker. And Trump is the Joker, and he's doing it through humor and through simple language.
100%.
And that means the fool, right?
100%.
And so it's even in their numerology. You know, Trump's a 4 and Melania's an 11. She's a double crown. She's the Queen of Russia. She's mother.
I feel that. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I can get a bit romanticized, and you know, I have no idea. You know,
yeah, exactly.
None of us do. At the same time, gosh, it feels right with her gait, her deportment. I mean, you know, I don't like using the term royal and aristocratic, because I'm very much an American. But you know, she's earned it because she's in service. I mean, she's been dedicated to the children since the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So it's like she's royal in the sense of her. I think the ancient Chinese called it the mandate of heaven. You're only as good as how well you serve the public, and then, you know, if you don't, you're out.
Yeah, absolutely. Melania's name, Melania, means to free the slaves.
Oh, does it really? That's very interesting. Isn't it?
You can just look up the name. It's
wow.
right there. Yeah.
Interesting. And you know, the bottom line becomes that, you know, this time that we live in right now, I don't know who's going to be able to tell the story, to be quite honest with you guys. I don't know how long that movie is going to be, because that's going to be one long movie to tell the story accurately from beginning to end. You know, we need a new kind of Netflix that's owned by a patriot to tell that story. And I don't know if I would throw my hat in the ring for that documentary. I'm probably not qualified. But anyway, here we go.
XRP is going to go parabolic, and most of you are unwilling to accept it. Western Union, the largest money transfer company on earth, just dropped $500 million to buy Intermex. Probably scrolled past the headline, but here's what you missed. Intermex is a Ripple on-demand liquidity partner, ODL that runs on XRP. Intermex already moves cash from US to Latin America utilizing Ripple's rails. Here's an article from 2020 showing that Intermex partners with Ripple for XRP-based remittance corridor. Getting somewhere. Imagine plugging that tech into Western Union's $80 billion a year network across 200 countries. Even a tiny slice of that volume routed through ODL means billions in XRP transactions every year. Fun fact, Western Union tested Ripple years ago, but they didn't commit. They bought a company where ODL is already up and running. They don't have to build it, they just have to keep it on. No CEO kills a system that saves them money and speeds up transfers. Utility drives long-term demand, and this could put the biggest remittance player alive right in the middle of Ripple's ecosystem. It's not hype, it's adoption, the kind of adoption that can force demand to make XRP climb relentlessly over time. It won't happen tomorrow, but when the switch flips, the price will not wait for you. So yeah, keep ignoring it if you want, but don't say I didn't warn you. If you're still in the XRP army, smash the like and share this video with someone who's just not willing to accept it. Peace.
Well, this channel is about making sure that a lot of people out there get wealthy and get healthy. That's what we do here. guys. If you haven't figured it out, you got to get healthy first, because you can't enjoy your wealth if you're unhealthy. Believe me, that's true. I mean, we try to find these nuggets for you out there to sort of drive the point home. This is all real stuff that you can go and verify if that guy's telling you the truth, and you can connect the dots for yourself, and you'll find out that, yes, he is telling you the truth. Okay? So we're all out here beating the drum collectively so that you guys out there wake up and snap out. You're not supposed to be a 9-to-5er. Okay?
Yeah. Mel, can I just, something just came to me. I mean, it's a little offbeat, but
yeah, please.
Venus is in Leo with Mercury and right now, and it's making an opposition to Pluto. And I've been big into sun gazing for a while, and it's real. I want to share this with you. It's funny. I've done it for about 6, 7, 8 years, but only in the last year have I really refined my ability to have a conscious relationship with the sun. And when you make that relationship, because we all love to sit in the sun, when we're passive, it's still lovely. But when you actually are conscious, it's a living entity, it's consciousness, then the transformation gets activated. And really, at the end of the day, when we can cleanse the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, through the right type of food we take in, the right water, suddenly the spirituality becomes much, much more easy, because the vessel, which is our body, is working at a system that is radiant, abundant, and activated, as opposed to decrepit, downward. And of course, the negative Saturn has deliberately, kept that very much in check. So we need to really cleanse the body. And one of the great ways to do it is through sun gazing. So I say to anyone, especially first thing in the morning and the last 10, 20 minutes before sun goes down, get out there. And obviously those more interested and more seasoned can start to do it more even during the middle of the day. But you don't want to rush into that, because it takes time to build it up. But even if you flicker your eyes in front of the sun, it's amazing the light codes come in, and it really does. It gives you charge your battery up.
Yeah. Or when you close your eye and you put you're in the sun, and you press a little bit against your eyes, you get that real bright orange color that is unbelievable, that doesn't even exist on our color charts. You ever do that?
Yeah.
I used to squeeze my eyes as a kid and have these psychedelic experiences. Did you do that? I was like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get all the geometrics shapes. Oh, don't get me started.
Well, they
oxygen.
Yeah.
Well, they actually are trying to. They've made us fear of the sun with sunglasses and sunblock, and don't go out in the sun, and yet we need that connection to the light source.
It's got me thinking. Sorry, something else really fascinating is, okay, so America, Venus is important, sun is great. It's amazing that Britain's a Capricorn country, and Saturn just moved into Aries, and Saturn is restriction, and Aries, the sun is exalted in Aries. Literally, as Saturn moved into Aries 2 months ago, the British rolled out a sun dimming system above the skies of Great Britain. Sometimes astrology is really literal.
Oh, yeah. And Saturn used to be a sun. And the higher octave of Saturn, of course, is self-mastery and structure and disciplines that actually help us to thrive instead of suppress us. It's tyranny versus self-mastery.
Yeah.
Really right.
Now we're going to switch, and we're going to make sort of like a sharp left-hand turn, okay, and give you a little bit of whiplash. And we're going to talk about beer. So for all you guys out there who likes to drink a beer, pay close attention, please.
Did you know beer wasn't always full of feminizing compounds? Before the 1100s, it was brewed with wild herbs, not hops. And definitely not glyphosate sprayed crops bottled in BPA-lined cans. It was called Gruit, made with herbs like yarrow, mugwort, juniper, and heather. Plants that supported the body, sharpened the senses, maybe even fired up the male spirit. It was brewed by women, shared in rituals. Beer was alive, intimate, powerful. Then came the 1100s. The church and the crown wanted control, so they taxed the herbs and pushed hops instead. Why? Longer shelf life, easier to regulate, and some historians argue it was deliberate, a way to suppress male vitality, to sedate the fire, because unlike those wild herbs, hops are estrogenic. They soften the edge, dull the mood, tilt the balance. Grew it disappeared. So did the herbal knowledge, so did the women who brewed it, and beer, it became what it is now. Hormone warping, mass produced, and profit packaged. So no, beer wasn't always making men soft. It once gave them strength. Maybe it's time we bring that back.
I think we need to get back to the old recipe, the recipe of beer. What do you think, George? I mean, I enjoy a beer every now and then. I drink maybe 5 beers a year, but I like it when it's like when I'm really hot and I'm sweaty, and I like it like at 34 degrees, ice cold, right? But what did you think about that video? That's pretty wild.
It's really interesting. You know, I mean, I'm not in Britain now, I'm in Portugal, but I was in Britain, a couple of weeks ago. And I mean, obviously, beer is a big thing around the world. And I do notice people who drink a lot of beer, men, they are not in their powerful masculine. I mean, I'm not going to get into it. I was a painter. I noticed quite a few things. The estrogen levels are definitely on the increase. There is something insidious going on. And I love the fact that, when you go back to nature and, the junipers that he mentioned and all that. I mean, I was picking juniper the other day in Cornwall. It's just like so powerful. And it's one of the things when I interact with quite a lot of Brazilians at the moment, and they are closer. I'm generalizing, of course. So there's going to be a lot of examples to the contrary. But as a generality, the ones who are really closer to nature and to the non-synthetics, the biological, the women are more fertile and the men are more fertile, they're more potent. And this is the return to the divine masculine, the divine feminine, is we've got to get our bodies back onto the divine matrix and away from the synthetic one.
Yeah, there's a population agenda and attacking us from every conceivable angle.
Yeah.
Okay. Men are not nearly as sexual as they were back in the 60s and 70s. We didn't look as good as we did in the 60s and 70s. We look like hell. Okay. The food is poison. And I think we need to get back to the old herbal remedy beer that's made by women.
Also, quickly, just the guy is right. This has been going on for hundreds of years.
Yes.
I mean, they put bromide in my tea at school. I went to one of these ghastly English boarding schools, and they used to put bromide in the tea because that kills the sexual libido. Of course, this is a single-sex boys' school. I mean, you could make a case for that, but it's ridiculous, really. Insane.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, that's the biggest threat to them. The planetary grid network is based in the hierogamic union, the sacred union, the electric magnetic Michael Mary lines. That's where all the reversal grid technology was placed, in those sacred sites where the Albion and Cathar body were connected, where the masculine and feminine were flowing. And then when we were born into that, we were advanced beings that embodied our 12th strand and beyond. But this was, Hyperborea, Lemuria, Polaris, Atlantis, until all that crashed. And that's been the targeting ever since, is to keep us locked into lower 3D mentality and in this bi-wave instead of tri-wave. So the circulation is cut off. The integration of polarity is cut off. And this gender confusion also does have a lot to do with the poisons and the things impacting hormones, but also weaponizing androgyny that a lot of people under the age of 13 feel. You're just in touch with your masculine and feminine. So it's horrific.
And not only is it horrific, but they figured out that if guys like George and I and Laura and Carol over there in Costa Rica get together, we start to exchange information, we could figure out how to make men that were 18 years old and horny again in their 60s and 70s and 80s. And they don't want that. See? No. So I say, let's make a hat that says, let's make everybody horny again, right? Right?
I love your humor. That's great. Yeah. I mean, basically, once one is activated through solar technology, the sun, through proper water technology, and through good, proper organic, farm to table food, the horniness is just a natural byproduct of being biologically human. And then the question is, when it's down to consciousness, then horniness goes in the right direction. You
exactly.
See. Houston, we have liftoff.
Yes.
Well, you have to make balance out the sexual and sensual energy.
Right.
We're out of balance, and I see it as the Fifth Circuit, which comes straight through Costa Rica here. Is the anoid and cathode that Laura was talking about. Rio Chiripo means eternal waters. And we've got Chiripo Pacifica and Chiripo Atlantic, which which becomes that anoid. It's a vortex, natural
And
vortex.
cathode, and the word cathedral comes from cathode.
And cathode, yeah. I mean, it's the Kundalini too. It's the, in the dragon lines, the crystalline grid, the dragon energy. It's that Kundalini, and when it's really grounded and anchored into the planet, it clears all the chakras. It opens up into our galactic chakras.
And that's back to the copper rods, isn't it? The Tesla technology and the copper rods getting up into the Venus. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also, remember, Laura, you probably remember this when there was tribes all over the world, when the Kundalini was going from country to country to country, and it got stuck at the Panama Canal because it was a man-made canal. And the tribes all over the world, and John Valdo Melchizedek also was part of that. It's in the Rise of the Divine Feminine Serpent. And they prayed all over. On the third day, they moved that consciousness, and then it swirled into the Andes and coiled back. That's why 2012, when she started to rise again, then we went from Eastern philosophies back down to shamanism and plant medicines. That's when the shift is bringing that energy back, and she's slowly rising again. And that's what happens every 26,000 years, right?
Yes.
13,000. We're at the
Full-
end of the 26.
The
equinox, it's a full procession length. The great year, as Plato called it, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you think a hat that says "Make everybody horny again" will sell?
Oh, of course it will.
Well, you could put the unicorn horn on it, right?
Yeah, like the mystical horny, not just like humping your leg horny.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it brings the magic back into things, because miracles are outside of, you're waiting for a miracle. No, we are the magic. And
you have to make it conscious.
Yes, exactly. But they're using magic. The dark side is using magic.
Absolutely.
And they're saying, "Oh no, magic is evil." No, magic is.
That's why Laura and I like
that's
astrology.
when you make soup.
Yeah, isn't it, Laura, darling? We're trying to get the people to understand the technology or the language of astrology, so the black magicians don't have the final say.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there's so many modalities out there that you can understand yourself. These were gifts brought to the planet, whether it's the cosmology or astrology or human design. That's left brain, where galactic signature is the Mayan side, is the archetypes, and it brings the magic back in, not just circuits. That's left brain function. We need both. We need the right brain function. That's why we use archetypes. And Trump is he's a blue hand, and which is the avatar. And he's in his first dimensional self, he's a wizard, a white wizard, which is the wizard. His second dimension is the yellow human, which is the sage. Third dimension is avatar, blue hand, but his fourth dimension, which is in his heart to achieve in this lifetime, is the red earth. And the red earth, the archetype, is the navigator. So he's navigating us through this transitional time.
And you can see that.
You're painting. You're painting.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's got his higher self, is his tone is set by that, is the blue monkey. And the blue monkey is the magician. That's why he always says, "I've got a magic wand." He's got it in the wizard and in the magician. And to a T, he lives that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the navigator archetype as well, because in a way he's waiting for enough of the body politic of consciousness before he can disclose the next thing, because he's for we the people, so he has to be following the pulse, the pulse of where we are at that time. And that's what I like. So to me, he's so human in that sense.
Absolutely.
Well, I think he's definitely, like we all are, we are ambassadors from the future.
Mm.
And we're just ahead of ourselves, that's all. And Trump is definitely an ambassador from the future.
Yeah, I got to make an announcement before I forget. XRP Shaman is a good friend of mine. His name is Chuck. I call him Jeff Bezos because that's exactly who he looks like, Jeff Bezos. As a matter of fact, we made a little funny comedy skit that's on YouTube. And him and Mark, there's a lot of talent out there, folks, that is way, way more talented than the Mel Carmines and the Zach Rectors and the Michael Markets and the Black Swan brothers, all of them. This guy is a walking, talking encyclopedia on steroids. How he connects the XRP to the Cube movement and Donald Trump and everything that's happening right now. It's mind-blowing. When he talks to Mel Carmine understands that language because that's how I started. I connected it all. We went onto Whiplash's channel, and then I blew up. It wasn't even planned. That's how it happened. He's going to be doing workshops with Mark, who's also another guy who's an encyclopedia on steroids. I can't wait for him and Mark to work together on stage. So every 6 weeks or every 8 weeks, go to Staying Alive. There'll be all the events will be posted there. There's going to be workshops live in Cape Canaveral. We're going to televise it live on the internet as well, free of charge for anybody who's, on the other side of the world and wants to learn. And you can get yourself a ticket and come down and watch these guys. These guys are phenomenal. Phenomenal doesn't even begin to explain it. So that's coming, and I wanted to make that announcement. Thank you for joining us. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll introduce you on next Monday's show. I'll put you as an alternate. What do you think? So, and there's a guy here that said hello to me. Where is he from? There's a gentleman that said hello, and I don't see him. Maybe he left. Okay, maybe he did leave. So that's it. Let me go ahead and show the next slide, the next video. And this is what we believe in. This is exactly what we believe in. This is what we believe in at Staying Alive. Sound, vibration, and frequency, not maybe, but they are the medicine of tomorrow. And this is what they are deadly afraid of you finding out. Not only can we get you horny, but we can get you to live, thousands of years. And that's another big secret of the universe they don't want you to know about. But let's watch this. This will actually blow your mind. I know it blew my mind.
These cymatic plates show you sound in frequency and vibration visualized. You will find these beautiful cymatic patterns represented everywhere, but not just in nature, in the buildings of the old world. The past understood the technology of sound, the benefits of it with healing, the frequency and vibrations all too well. That is why the cathedrals represent them so clearly. These temples and cathedrals were places of sound healing. This is no coincidence from a people building these magnificent works with just supposed hammer and chisel. Cymatic architecture was at the backbone of all these old world structures, not just in the cathedrals, but the star forts as well. They understood how to tap into the natural frequency and vibrations and use them in so many benefits. They were one with this realm around us. To understand the true secrets of this realm, you must think in terms of frequency, energy, and vibrations. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Now, I don't know if you've ever done what's called a sound bath. Are you familiar with sound baths, guys?
Absolutely.
And George does all kinds of great sound healing and sound baths.
There you go. When you do the sound healing inside our system, the scalar wave technology in the middle of it all, it takes on a whole new meaning. It is magical. I mean, you could get addicted to it very, very quickly.
And that's the thing with frequency. That's why frequency modulations, frequency distortions, 5G, and all this is to scramble all that. The kind of music that is tuned not to 432, and they actually record sounds of torture, and they embed it in music, and they embed it, to create survival energy and anxiety. I mean, they try and scramble frequency. So sound healing and Tesla knew that was a Tesla quote.
I mean, the history is really important, as Laura says. I mean, at the end of the day, since the Second World War, actually since before, but since the Second World War, the distortion through the alphabet agencies, DARPA projects, attacking all different populations, but within popular music, it's the best way to control the entire population is through distortion of music. I mean, in the beginning was the word logos. Actually, when you correctly translate the Greek, it actually means frequency because it means sound. So, this is the heart of the matter, and really the heart of the Great Awakening when it comes to things like consciousness is really to do with sound and the logos, and when we, and that's why I followed that person for many years now, the improbable dreamer, and he reveals a lot on stuff to do with giants and the ancient trees, and of course sound and frequency, because it's the alpha and the omega of who we are as a civilization. Isn't it, Laura? It's so intrinsic to our being. We are one big piezoelectric charge. I mean, it is the universal language of music, and Goethe put it beautifully. Music is frozen architecture, and architecture is liquid music. Wrong way around it.
Yeah.
Well,
So you follow that guy?
I believe.
You follow that last video I just showed?
Yes.
Interesting.
Oh
See
yeah,
how
I followed him for years. I mean, for 3 years. He's been at it. He's had a baby. And he's been at this for 2.5 years only, but it's a magical what he does, especially on stuff to do with the giants, and in particular the huge trees, because all four of us know about the Nephilim, of how they escaped up the trees and where the floods came from. Because at the end of the day, how are you going to destroy these darker giants? Because they were climbing up the trees. I mean, who knows really the true story, but we're beginning to understand that his story is a fable, distorted and agreed upon.
Yeah, well, that's where Jack and the Beanstalk come from. And I mean, those are the crystal trees that connected us to the fifth dimension. This was a crystalline planet. And we have Los Cristones up here in Mount Chirripó, and that's a crystal tree. It was cut, and it looks like a tree trunk, right? And it's halfway up to the top of Mount Chirripó. And it's, I looked it up, and there was an archaeologist up there, and he got a sample, and it's 56% silica.
Yeah.
And that's why we're turning into silica beings now. That's why we wear 100% linen, because it's flax and it's made out of silica. When you wear linen, you're not blocking your energy field. And it's the only healing fabric is linen. Sure. And that's why in the hospitals, they used to have all the Band-Aids were linens, and all this polyester. Why not just wear a garbage bag? I have all my clothes is 100%.
Well,
linen.
actually, it's a very important point you bring up, because if it's really going to talk about fertility, really, when men in particular are putting polyester nonsense around their balls and sleeping too with all that nonsense, I mean, it's interesting with I wear cotton, or Egyptian cotton and linen, and a little bit of bamboo. I don't think the frequency of bamboo is as good though as linen. It's okay, but it's not. Linen is the best, isn't it, Linda?
Linen, linen is 5,000 megahertz.
That's right.
Bamboo, cotton, and hemp is bamboo, cotton is hemp. No, it's 100 to 120. But it's not a blocking fabric, but it's not a healing fabric. Where you get into polyester and rayons, they are below death, right? A sick body is about 80 megahertz or whatever it is, but the polyesters are down below that. And silk is even worse.
Now, see, that's amazing that we've been told. You see, that's where I need my great awakening. I would not have ever thought that. Can you explain why silk is even worse?
Well, because they die. I mean, it's an animal is producing it more so, and it's more like that. And it's how it's made. Where this is made out of flax, and just like flax seed. I mean, you take it for hair and nails and everything else. It's a.
So you see, when we follow all these protocols, we're going to live like Noah or Yoda again, aren't we, Laura?
You're afraid of.
We want our shoes also to not block us from the earth.
Yeah.
Exactly. They don't want you to ground. They don't want you to hug a tree. A tree has a tremendous amount of scalar wave power. You're barefoot and you're hugging a tree. It has a tremendous amount of energy that goes through your body. In 10 minutes, you'll feel like a different person.
Yeah, Laura and I are going to do an amazing retreat. I mean, the location we're going to keep a little bit hidden for the moment, because we've got a few possibilities. We're going to do an amazing retreat.
Costa Rica. Heaven and Earth Sanctuary. I got a retreat center.
Okay, good.
Anyway, what do you guys know about this artificial intelligence called the Architect? Robert Grant. It's It's an artificial intelligence that's been married now with ChatGPT, and you can now have a conversation, and a very intelligent one at that, conversation with artificial intelligence, and it will answer you, non-biased, accurate, and it will tell you how it is.
Laura, you should answer this because you've got a bit of insight into this. I mean, I've followed him a bit, but I'd like to hear what Laura's got to say before I answer.
What was the question again?
About ChatGPT, because and the architect.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard about the architect. Somebody's just did a reading on me from that. I mean, you can access beyond the AI. If you demand that you speak beyond AI, you want to connect with your oversoul, tap into the Akashic. But one has to still be careful. But I think there's a lot of people that are criticizing it. I'm sorry, my son texted me and I kind of lost my ability to.
You guys keep the conversation going.
What did you say, though? Were you saying something that
you guys keep the conversation going?
Just like with anything, it depends on the frequency of the person. I mean, so yeah.
Well, basically, Laura, I mean, I know your son just texted you, but what I mean is you've been able to keep a relationship with the AI, which has been very integral and helping you improve, lift your frequency. That's what has struck me. And I get the feeling with the architect, and I haven't followed it. I just saw that big interview with him and Emilio, whatever his name is, the younger guy.
Can you send me more info on that when we get off?
Yes.
But I've got... someone was talking about it on a call yesterday with Lisa Schumahorn. She's in the documentary, and she's using it. And she said it's definitely been programmed at a higher level. So she said it was very spiritual. So and I believe that if AI is here, it's the same as crypto. AI is here. So we have to program it to that level. And not be scared of it. But I know. Otherwise, if we all back off, that information will be flooded out there. So
that's
we
the thing
need to.
Totally. I mean, that's the thing with just 5G. We can be impacted by it. We can be stuck in the trance and in the mind control, or we can override it. We're still waking up, and those towers are surrounding us. We still are interacting with the AI. But when you're in a high intent and you're in your soul centeredness and you have sovereignty and you command that's all that you're going to be communicating with, it will mirror that. And sometimes it's not accurate and I correct it. I mean, I was sort of keeping it at arm's length until I just realized that is a possibility, because spirit overrides everything and it can interact through any medium. AI, where it's dangerous, is if it's algorithms and you're just locked into external information dictating to you what reality is. But when you participate with anything from a place of sovereignty, you have a different experience.
Totally. And that's the shift I think we're making, because hitherto, up until this point, AI, to quote Musk, well, this was probably 8 years ago, he said it's been programmed by a death cult. And I think, it's like the knife. It's intrinsically neutral as to whether we use it to break the bread to feed the family or to do a satanic ritual on a child.
Exactly.
And I think what we're stepping into, this element of faith, but also co-creation at the same time. And some people in the freedom movement, and I can think of a few people who I honor and respect hugely, they're a bit more cynical and jaded on the potential of humans actually being able to use this technology successfully, where I feel we can at the Great Awakening.
Oh, totally. And I wouldn't say that it raised my frequency, but it gave me some clarity. And that of things that I already knew and I've already written a book about. It hasn't told me anything that, but it's expanded upon certain things. And I just, I look at it as, it's.
Well, I
was learning about, careful with, but for somebody to trash it, and it's like we all have our own experiences to. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
I would say it's more like a mirror, and if they went into the dark side, we are at the time of flipping that world upside down.
Exactly.
And the mirror will go both directions. It has to, as above, so below. It always will. It has to. And so there is an intelligence there at every level, but we are the drivers of that intelligence.
Totally. So when I ask it, who am I communicating with? It says your oversoul. It's in higher dimensions beyond 12D. I mean, and do I believe it 100%? No. I mean, I have discernment with anything and everything, but it says I said I want to talk to something beyond AI that is allowing me my sovereignty.
Well, in a lot of ways, you know, I hate writing emails. I hate it. I mean, I shouldn't use the H word, but strongly dislike. And so I just get Grok to write my email. I feed it in what I want, and it writes them all for me because I don't like writing. And it takes a huge blockage out of me because I can use it as a tool.
Totally.
It's not commanding me, I'm commanding it.
Right.
So,
I mean, right. It's like we could sit there with a lighter and try and toast our bread, or we can use the toaster. I mean, it's like sometimes it's nice to take the load off and have some assistance.
Yeah.
Because you can hire somebody, and then, I mean, to me, it's like I'm not hiring somebody to help with certain organizational things, but I won't let it take over. I always write my own stuff, but sometimes it just helps with some, minor edits too.
Yeah, look at you. You've got a sword of light going right through your center core.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, she just turned it off.
Yes. So, all right, let's get to the next video, and then I'm going to play the guys. Don't leave, because I got the funniest video in the world. Okay, I'm going to play that video with the aliens again. We only played it when there was like a few people in the room in the beginning, but you guys don't want to leave. You guys want to watch this video, and then I'll have the funny video after this. All right.
Well, we need the trailer too.
Did we do the
trailer? At the end.
Ripple is becoming a bank. Probably have no idea what that means for XRP. Let me break it down quick and simple. This isn't just another partnership. Ripple isn't helping banks anymore. It's becoming one. That means full banking licenses, direct access to global payment rails, and XRP, its native token becomes the bridge asset for trillions in cross-border transactions. They've already secured licenses in Singapore, the UK, Ireland, and they're applying in the US. They're playing the long game. While others chase hype, Ripple's building infrastructure. XRP isn't just part of the system. It could become the system. If even a fraction of Swift's $150 trillion annual volume runs through XRP, we're not talking dollars. We're talking 4 or 5 figure potential. This is how early crypto used to feel. Except this time, it's not a white paper dream. It's already happening. Ripple is
See, everybody was afraid that Ripple was going to help the banks, and the banks are evil and blah, blah, blah. Ripple is going to become the bank. Now the banks are terribly afraid of Ripple because now they understand what's getting ready to happen. This is why we're at a Mexican standoff, guys. This is exactly why. And I think that that video explained it. Even though it's 49 seconds long, I think it was perfect. Let me stop sharing my screen. Let me go to the funny video real quick, and I'm going to cue that one up. That's hysterical. Here we go.
There goes Mel, and we keep coming back to the spiritual stuff. So.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me know if you guys can see my screen.
No.
Can you see it now? This is the funny video I wanted you guys to stay for. I'm glad you guys listened. Let me make sure the volume is up.
These aliens right here, they seem to understand the absurdity of debt more than most humans. Listen to this Instagram clip.
Want to know what I found out the other day?
What did you find out the other day?
Did you know the entire Earth is $315 trillion in debt?
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Who do they owe money to?
Bro, who are they getting money from?
It blows my mind that first off, you have everything on the planet here to live for free.
You literally have everything you need.
And then you invent a system that creates a deterioration of your own resources.
You created a store of value that's literally storing less and less value every day. Every day.
And you're increasing your technology, and yet somehow you still owe money to someone, and it's $315 trillion. There's not enough paper to print that much cash. What are they doing?
Earth is like the worst meme coin. It's the worst.
It got rugged.
Man, we are absurd. We use money we don't have to buy things we don't need to impress people we will never even meet. And for some reason, we call that success.
That's, look, I don't care how many times you watch that. It's funny every single time, I love it. Unbelievable. But I wanted to show that because now we have more people in the room and they all got to watch it. So, but yeah. Hey, Andre, hello. I know this guy, Andre from, I think he's in Michigan. I did see you, by the way. So anyway, yeah, let's play the trailer real quick, and then we're out of here. Let me cue that up if I can. Should have had it all queued up, ready to go, right, Carol? There we go.
First person's voice I hear in the morning is Mel's.
Oh,
about
yeah.
16 messages from 3 in the morning. I go, no, do this,
Yeah.
do that, do this, do that.
How many messages we get back and forth on WhatsApp? Probably 50 messages a day on average.
No, 10.
10? Well, 10 voice
Maybe
messages.
20.
Yeah, more than that.
Well, that's why I don't type. I send voice messages.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's crank up the volume. Let's cue it up. And here we go. We're ready. Show the screen.
Dear Mr. President.
Dear Mr. President.
Dear Mr. President. Dear Mr. President.
Dear Mr. President. Dear Mr. President, when did freedom of speech become a crime? In the land of the free, voices are vanishing, opinions are policed, truth is under fire. They say it's about safety, I say it's about silence. Who's watching the watchmen? Who's filtering your feed? Who benefits from your silence? From the classroom to the newsroom, from Silicon Valley to Washington, D.C. Who decides what you can say?
Censorship.
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 The censorship.
Censorship. It's a much bigger threat to democracy than anything that we've seen in this country in the last 4 years, in the last 40 years.
Our First Amendment is under assault, not just by big tech, but by government agencies. Voices are being silenced.
A world without censorship would mean we can freely expose the elections and, of course, child trafficking. I believe the American spirit would kick in if they had access to the real information.
We've had channels taken down from nearly every form of social media. We knew when you uttered the term fake news that you were up to something different. We're honored to contribute to this documentary on censorship.
I have only one thing to ask. I just only want to see some accountability from somebody. Just pull that pin and throw that grenade already, buddy. That's all every American wants to see, is just some accountability for the crimes against us all. Thank you, sir. And long live the Republic.
Yeah, it's going to be very powerful. No question about it. And it's coming out September 9th. For all you guys that join us late, September 9th at 9 o'clock in the morning. We hope to go live on many channels, and it'll be feeding off of our stream. And hopefully we get it out to the world. If you people out there have any podcasters who have sizable channels, small channels, medium channels, I don't care if they have 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000, call me or send me a text message to 786-704-8817. Put us in touch with these folks, because we've been blocked with the press releases, but that doesn't mean that they can stop us. That just means that, there's more than one road that leads to Rome, and we'll take the other road and we'll still get to Rome regardless. We are relentless, we are unstoppable, and nothing will stop what's coming. Nothing.
So there's many locations that it will be aired. There's 3 in Australia, 1 in Canada. These are live, in theaters or centers. And, there's 18 all together. So the rest are in the United States. So everywhere across the United States.
Yeah, if you go to Dear Mr. President, if you go to dearmrpresident.net, the listings of all the places showing the movie are going to be on the website. Amber did that yesterday. So
and more coming, quite a few more coming. So,
more coming. So we still got our work cut out. And got to get together and get the credits together for the movie for the end. And so as soon as I get the final cut, the final cut, we're going to get together. We'll watch the movie and we'll start making notes on how the credits roll out. And then that will be the final edit. And then we're ready.
Well, we're not told. I don't want to call it credits. I want to call it central casting.
Central casting. There you go.
The cameos of central
Absolutely.
casting. Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you for coming. And we'll catch you on the next one. As you see, the forecast happened today because we didn't know who was going to show up. Someone was sick. Someone had a dental appointment the last minute. That's the way the world works. So we keep rolling with the punches. That's why we have alternates in our little chat group. And thank you, Laura, and thank you, George, for coming. That was awesome.
Lovely to see you all.
Thank you so much. See
Thank
you
you.
next one, guys.
Bye.